All right, guys, here we go for part 2. I flipped to the back. I'm on numbers 10 and 11. We're finding two things here. We're going to find the expression for the nth term, and then we're going to find the sum of the first 20. Okay, so I didn't tell you what type of sequences they are, but you should be able to determine that by the information you're given. Remember, anytime you see a D, that would be your arithmetic, and then in number 11, I see an R, so that would be geometric. Okay, so nth term. For arithmetic, remember this is just linear, so AN equals DN plus A0. Okay, so we need to know our D or our change, like our slope, and then we're going to go backwards and find the zero term. So AN equals, we're given D is -3, so -3N. Now if A1 is 100, and I know if decreased by 3, then A0 should be 3 more than that, so 103. So -3N plus 103, ooh, where'd my 0 go? Let's fill that 0 back in. Plus 103 would be my nth term. Now, if I want to find the sum of the first 20 terms, I need my sum formula. So for arithmetic, we think about the pairs. So the sum of n terms would be n over 2, and then we need first term and last term paired together. Okay, so we are finding the sum of the first 20 terms. So n is 20, 20 over 2. A1 we were given as 100. Now we need to find AN, which in this case would be the 20th term, A20. And since we have our nth term formula, we can just plug 20 into that. So -3 times 20 plus 103 would be -60 plus 103, which is 43. So 43 is my 20th term. So the sum of 20 terms is now 10 times 143, which is 1,430. Okay, now we move on to geometric. For geometric, our nth term, we're going to take our first term and multiply by r n minus 1 times. So in this case, an would be first term, which is 5, times r, which is 0.2, to the n minus 1. Okay, and that's all we can do. There's no simplifying to be done there because of the exponent. So now if I want to find the sum of 20 terms, let's think about the sum of n terms. So for geometric, we have a1 times the quantity 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. So remember, that just means we need the first term, we need the r, and we need the number of terms. We're given the number of terms as 20. First term we were given as 5. R was 0.2, so 1 minus 0.2 to the n minus 1, or 19, over 1 minus 0.2. I'm going to type this in my calculator. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my calculator. I'm just going to type this in. So 5 times the quantity, 1 minus 0.2 to the 19th, divided by 1 minus 0.2. Notice I put that denominator in parentheses, so it would be all stuck together. And it looks like the sum of 20 terms is 6.25. Okay? Okay, so moving on. The next two problems, again, are similar, except one is arithmetic and one is geometric. So we have to approach them differently. For each problem, we're given two terms in the sequence and asked to find the 15th. Now, with the arithmetic sequence, what's important is that we find D, which is our slope. So we're just going to basically use a slope formula. D should be the difference between the terms, so 29 minus 14, and the difference in the term numbers, which is 10 minus 5. So that it changes by a value of 15 over 5 terms, which means each time we're changing by 3. Now, if I want to find the 15th term, we can take the 10th term and build on it, or we can go back and find the first term and the 0 term and build on it. I would rather take that 10th term. So if I have the 10th term, and I'm trying to find the 15th, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I'm going to have to add D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So basically, I'm taking 29, and I'm adding D, which I just found is 3, 5 times. Okay? So adding D, and so on. So that's 29 plus 15, which gets me a total of 44 as my 15th term. Geometric, I'm going to do kind of similar, but I obviously can't find R by just finding a slope. So I'm going to start by listing up my terms. So I have the fourth term, which is 20.25, and then I have 5, 6, 7th term, which is that big old 68.34375. So to get from the fourth term to the 7th term, I've multiplied, remember it's geometric, I've multiplied 1, 2, 3 times. Okay? So the fourth term, which is 20.25, times r 3 times should get me 68.34375. So on my calculator, I'm going to divide 68.34375. Oops, uh-oh. 34375 divided by 20.25. This should give me r cubed. And r cubed is 3.375. So now when I take the cube root of that, so where's my cube? I'm just going to do that to the 1/3 cube root. Hey, that gets me r is 1.5. Okay, so now we know r. Now I'm again going from the 7th term up to the 15th term. So to go from the 7th term to the 15th term, how many times would we have to multiply by r? That's what I want to think about now. So the 7th term, 34375, I'm going to have to multiply by r 8 total times to create that 15th term. So 68.34375 times 1.5 to the 8th should give me that big old nasty number as my 15th term. So 1,751.5755562. And there's our 15th term.